Now continuing on to the inside of this bag, one of the things that I did was I wanted to be able to display all of my items without fully opening the bag. This particular bag is a clamshell design. It does allow for the bag to be opened entirely, and for me, I wanted this to be a little less open, a little more concealed, and hold a slightly different shape and size of things than the clamshell was ideal for. So let me show you what I have going on here. Basically, as I open up the bag and open it this way, all my stuff displays this way. So what I did was pretty much take the inserts from my Vanquest Javelin and use them to set up the inside of this Falconer. Now the inside of this bag does have Velcro on both sides of this flap, so it allowed for these dividers to be placed in here quite easily, and I was able to get all my gear nice and displayed on the inside of this bag so I can get to it quickly and easily. So getting down into the specific contents of this bag, basically on this side I have my sunglasses. They sit in this pouch and it fits perfectly inside. Here I have a Maxpedition cocoon pouch that I use to hold my computer cables, my phone charger, little cables that I need basically to connect my daily electronic devices together for downloading, uploading, things like that, charging. Basically just a very simple small cocoon pouch. In this pouch here I have my Olight SR Mini Intimidator 2. This is a wonderful flashlight. There are some newer models that have a better lumen output, but at the same time this particular model has been great. I use this every single day for inspections. I work in an industrial facility and I need high lumen output flashlights to be able to perform inspections, and so this flashlight for me has been wonderful, and I keep it right in this pouch. In this pouch here I have my ThruNite TN12. This is an older model, the 2014 edition. Still a great flashlight. Sometimes I find I don't feel like carrying around this big guy, and this is small and suitable for most of the things that I need to do. So it's nice for me to have two flashlights. I definitely mandatory have to have one on me, so to have the big guy for the long throw or the big open areas, this works out pretty well, and for most typical applications this is just good as well. Continuing on, it is winter time. I just have some gloves and a hat. I don't need them every day, but I know if I'm going to need them, I'm going to need them, so I keep them right in here. Here I have my field book in a Maxpedition case. It's important to have something to write on. Basically, I have everything I need here. I use it both for my daily life and for my work. So just to have a good quality field book and writing utensils is always a must for an EDC. Continuing on, this is something that you may recognize. This is my first aid kit. I built this first aid kit with the ability to both carry it in my EDC and also on my backpacking expeditions. If you haven't seen this video yet, take a quick look. It's got a pretty good look inside as to the contents in this kit. It's reasonably comprehensive, definitely suitable for an EDC and also for a backpacking excursion. And finally on the inside, I do have this standard diary. Basically, I just use this to kind of build my work schedule. It's the ability for me to get things on paper if I don't necessarily have the ability to get to my computer at the moment. And so it's just a way for me to get some notes out of my head and keep myself organized. Now that pretty much wraps up the contents of this pocket, but let me get the camera down close and we'll talk about this in a little more detail. Now, as I mentioned, looking down to the inside here, you'll see the bright orange is the inserts from my Vanquest Javelin. And basically there is hook and loop on both sides of this bag, so I was able to insert these spacers and subdivide the inside. You'll notice that this bag also does have some MOLLE on the inside, and what's really great about the way that they put this in is that the way I'm using this bag sideways, it actually holds the pouches vertically. So it really works out very nice in terms of being able to open this bag from the side. And also where they have this pouch, the way that it is here, has pretty much set itself up almost perfectly. Now, one of the things that I would really have liked is if the entire inside of this was the high vis. I mean, you can even kind of see the difference between the orange and the gray in the shadows. I mean, the orange does definitely stick out quite a bit better than the rest of the gray. So I think that's a little bit of a miss here. I wish they had continued that high vis through the entire inside of the bag, basically to help you with a little bit of separation and the ability to see your contents easier. There are some nice little features about this that work out pretty well. I mean, for example, this flap here can pretty much be used to close off the contents. You know, I found for me, I just like to keep it kind of open so that I can slide my contents in here and get to them easily. And so, you know, they did put a lot of thought and effort into this. I'm not so sure why this bag is being discontinued. I think it's a little bit of a shame. It would be nice to see that they're going to continue to use a similar design on hopefully another bag. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And just a final look at the contents back in their own little subdivided pockets. Very organized, perfect fit, works great for an EDC. Now moving on to the next compartment. Again, another clamshell opening. The ability to really easily display additional gear quickly, easily organized. Excellent features, wonderfully laid out. Let me show you the specifics. So in this pouch here, this is a mesh front pouch with basically a ripstop fabric. In here I have a pouch that just has some of my emergency backup money sources. I have my checkbook, some of the credit cards that I don't regularly use, and then on this other side I just have a little business card holder. So this has my contact information and stuff that I might need to hand to somebody in a pinch if I need to. So just a little pouch, fits in there quite well. In this next pouch here, I basically just carry my backup spare batteries and a little power bank. So for me to have some batteries with me for the different things that I might need is definitely advantageous. I keep them in here so that I can get to them regularly, and in the event that I need to charge any one of my gadgets or my cell phone, I have a little power bank with me. Continuing on, I just have a Maxpedition organizer velcroed to the inside of this pack. Here I have a little voice recorder. Basically, I use this sometimes to get some thoughts out that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get out. I actually use this to record some of the audio that you hear on my channel. So it's nice for me to have this small little recorder. Fits perfectly, doesn't take up too much space, really easy. Here I have what's actually called the laser designator. This is almost like a flashlight, but at the same time, it's a green laser. It allows you to zoom and broaden out the actual beam, which works out quite nicely. This is excellent for backpacking for two reasons. One, if you use it in the fully wide flooded mode, it allows you to basically see quite nicely at night without killing your vision. It's a green light that is very easy to see, yet at the same time it does not give you night blindness. So that is one function. The other is if you were to narrow the beam as tight as you can, A, it's a laser pointer, but B, you could potentially use this as a signaling device. So in terms of an actual EDC item, it's not really necessary. It's a little bit gimmicky, kind of a toy. I carry it with me and I don't use it all that much, but it's definitely cool. Moving on, I have a Butane Torch. This is a little bit different than a Butane Zippo in that you can actually very easily pinpoint a flame. I use this with my paracord weaving all the time, basically to melt the ends. It's an excellent torch, nice to have with you. Slim, easy, fits in the pocket quite well. Excellent EDC item. Moving on, just a bottle opener, but it's pretty cool. 50 cal bullet opener, yeah, sure. I use this thing quite a bit. It was actually a gift. I carry it with me for two reasons. Obviously, the need to open a bottle is first, but second, because it was a gift, a little bit sentimental, and I just keep it with me on my EDC. Next, this is an item that I think is potentially underrated. I would suggest people basically look into this for a number of reasons. This is a telescoping magnet. I can't even tell you the number of times that this has come into play. Just the need to reach something that's a little bit out of reach if it's magnetic, and the ability to actually get it. This is a cool little tool. I've enjoyed it very much. It's come into play numerous times, and it's got a ton of utility for how small it can be. Fits in my EDC without a fuss. Just something totally worth having. And finally, something that I don't really use. I don't know why I carry it in here. I've had it in my bag ever since I set this up. I think I was probably just looking for something that fit that space, but what this is pretty much a keyboard cleaning tool. So it just has a little brush to clean out your keyboard and this little squeegee thing to get into all the crevices and clean it out. I don't know if I've ever really used it. I should probably try it to see if it would work, but all I really do is carry it around for no good apparent reason. And finally, in the top of this clamshell, this is where I just keep all of my pens. So it's an easy pocket right on the top of this outer flap. So when my bag is closed and the zippered pocket is primarily shut, and then I need to get to my pens, they're right here on the top where I can get to them quickly and easily. So you don't necessarily have to open this all the way up for it to be useful. If you're careful about how you lay the contents out, you can still get to the things that you need most regularly right in the top of the bag. Now before I wrap this up, I'd like to cover some of the exterior features. This does have a reasonable grab handle. Now you'll notice that it is only attached on the sides. Part of me kind of wishes that there was some box stitching up higher to hold this handle a little bit tighter to the top of the bag. You'll see other companies such as Maxpedition do that quite often. I like that a little bit better just because, and this is just honestly me being a little bit picky, I just kind of don't like how floppy this is. You know, it's just a little floppy, it's kind of sticking up in the air. I think it would just look and feel a little bit nicer if it was just tucked down just a little bit, keeping it a little tighter to the bag and adding another additional bit of stitching on the side of this handle. Now continuing on the side of the bag, you'll see this does have MOLLE on the side. You'll see all the zipper tracks that allowed me to open this for the full clamshell openings. This does have some little tabs to allow you to add additional clips or also shock cord, carabiners, things like that. These side compression straps are nice Duraflex buckles. I actually took these loops and added them. These loops were originally on the shoulder straps, probably to hold a hydration tube. And so, you know, I found that without these straps were just kind of flapping in the breeze, and I wanted to tidy up the bag a little bit. So I stole the Velcro strap from the shoulder straps and added them to the compression straps. One of the features that I thought was pretty hokey right off the get-go with these funny little zipper pulls, you'll see that these differentiate themselves from the rest of the bag. The rest of the bag just has paracord, but these are a weird rubberized material, and even at that, they're opposed at a strange direction. You know, you really want to pull this way, and at first where these were sideways, I thought it was very strange. I have to admit, I've gotten used to it and it doesn't bother me now. It was just my first impression that these things were weird. It does tend to bind the zipper just a little bit because you're not pulling it straight. You're actually pulling it from the side, which makes the zipper twist. So you can feel that it does bind just a little bit as you're pulling it, but at the same time, it works perfectly fine. I think in a future design, I'd be interested to see if they could use the similar type of pulls, yet get them more aligned with the the parallel direction of travel versus them being perpendicular to the direction of the zipper travel. Now if you look at this side of the bag, you'll notice I have a small piece of Velcro and also my tactical pen. The reason why I put these on this side is just as a visual cue to the fact that this is the side of the bag that I need to open up in order to display my contents. Again, this is a full clamshell opening, so in theory, this zipper goes all the way around. If I was to open the other side of the bag, obviously my contents would be upside down and I wouldn't be able to access some of them. So that's all I did was put myself a little visual cue on the side of the bag to remind me that this is the side that I open up. The other reason why I basically displayed the bag the direction that I did is because the back of the bag here has either a hydration bladder sleeve, or what I'm using it for is to hold a tablet. So this pocket only has a zipper on one side of the bag. It is not on the other side. In an ideal world, I would actually like to have the zipper on the other side of the bag so I could display my contents the opposite direction. I find that this is not really the ideal direction for me to have it set up. I would like to have my contents facing the other direction, but it is what it is, and so I've tried to adapt and basically set it up so that I can get to each and every thing throughout this entire bag from this side. On the back side of the bag, we'll talk about the straps. These straps are quite comfortable. They're nice and contoured. They fit very well. They have nice straps, good quality webbing, quality attachment points, and they do also have this load cinching strap to keep the load tight to your back. You'll notice that on the top, there is the ability to sneak the hydration hose out of that back pocket, and there is also a hip belt that can tie into this. I don't currently run the hip belt. I don't run it on my EDC. I would typically store it in the bag in the event that, say, for example, I broke down somewhere and needed to take this bag and run. I could potentially use that hip belt to help me hold the weight. I found that it doesn't fit too well in my system. I could probably get it in here and fold it up if I wanted to, but it would create a little bit of a lump on my back. So I just have not carried it with me, but it is definitely something, if you wanted to, you could add the hip belt back into this. So one of the other downfalls to this bag is there's no real water bottle pouch. I can understand it based on the design, how this bag lays out, and what they would need to do to make a water bottle pouch fit on here. Obviously, this is hydration compatible, so if you wanted to, you could basically outfit it with a water bladder if you really needed to, but I'm not going to use it that way. I need a water bottle on my bag. I carry a water bottle with me every single day, so to have the ability to attach a bottle to this would be quite nice. I'm sure you could use these MOLLE straps here to add an additional pouch, but it is not integral to the bag. So that is one downside that I found about this in terms of an EDC option. So alright guys, that's all I have for now. Little EDC update using my Vanquest Falconer 27. Unfortunately, like I told you before, I lost a little bit of my mojo finding out that this bag seems to be discontinued. It's certainly something you can find on eBay or in other sources, so it's definitely a valid bag if you're interested. Just take a look, see if you can find it in different places. And who's to say what Vanquest is going to do moving into the future? I think some of these features are excellent. They're a great option for EDC. I think these features present themselves extremely well if you want to use a bag like this for an EDC option. And so I really hope and encourage Vanquest to continue using some of these similar design features in their future bags. So alright guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.